Hello, 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 my beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Always Adri. How's everyone doing today? I am getting the hang of sitting here and talking to the camera instead of just talking to myself or talking to the wall. My good friend Brian is here, of course, doing the video for me. So this has been a great experience so far. I've gotten really good feedback on the visual aspect of the podcast, so I hope you guys have been enjoying it as much as I have been. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so glad that Brian and I could make something happen and make it work. What day is today? Today's Wednesday. It's 2 o'clock now. I've had a pretty productive day so far. You guys know I rest on Wednesdays. Wednesday rest days for my training. I just ran some errands. I literally just got home from running errands. I need to eat lunch still, but got home from running errands, went to Target. I'll do a haul on YouTube and TikTok, all the above with everything that I got. I'm still in the process of decorating my apartment, which has been a fun experience because I'm fully invested in like actually decorating my space because I was never a really big decorator, but now I'm like, okay, I want to make this place feel a little more homey, so let me do that. But this morning I got some client work done. I had two phone calls actually. One was kind of like a check-in, just talking phone call with like a current client, and then the other one was like an onboarding, initial phone call with a new client. So productive morning in terms of clients. I did some cleaning, cleaned my bathroom, cleaned Pluto's litter box, did some laundry. It's been a very productive day. I'm very happy with it. I'm working really hard to be more mindful and be more, what's the word? I guess like mindful and like conscious of my social media consumption. I have been, well, I'll like dial it back a little bit. So Sunday night, or Sunday day, kind of over the weekend, I had a bit of a moment on Sunday where I was just thinking a lot about money and like finances, right? So, I've said this before that like my main source of income, literally 2/3 of my income, right? A solid 2/3 of it is online coaching for me. Pluto might jump through right here. Maybe not.
Do it.
Do it, Pluto. Jump on the table.
Does he listen to like dog commands?
There he goes. Sometimes. There you go.
He'll pop on.
Yep, maybe. If you like move it around and like do something like this, he might come and get it, yeah. Sorry, we're getting distracted by Pluto. So we're getting distracted by Pluto over here. But anyway, so Sunday I had a bit of a moment about money/finances because like I said, 2/3 of my income does come from coaching, and coaching is actually going fine. Like the 2/3 income is solid. That last 1/3 though, whatever I get from social media, from brand deals, from many partnerships, commission, whatever, is where I have been not struggling, but it hasn't been as abundant as it used to be. Especially after you guys know, I talked about this, I dropped Tanaka Power maybe like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago at this point. I think it was early May. I think it was the beginning of May, I want to say. So over a month ago now. Dropped Tanaka. Maybe it was at the beginning of April. I think it was beginning of April because I got my last payout in May. So in April, I dropped Tanaka. So dropped Tanaka, and it wasn't a very big like reduction in income because I was already not selling as much as I used to, so it wasn't like I was making, bands off of commission, but definitely, took a little bit of a hit, but I was like, okay, I'm prepared, I can do this, whatever. And it was just what I wanted to do for myself. I wasn't getting a lot of satisfaction out of continuing to work with them anymore, and I just wanted something new, right? So there was that. And then things have just kind of been a little bit all over the place in terms of my social media stuff. Like my TikTok has been literally shadow banned for forever now, so I'm not making as much off of like the creator fund with them, which used to be not a significant part of my income, but some couple hundred a month, at least 100 or so per month. And then Instagram Reels haven't been monetized for me recently. I don't know why. They haven't given me that whole the fuck is it called? I don't know, where they allow you to monetize your Reels. I haven't had that turned on in a couple weeks now. I haven't been able to get it back, so I don't know what's going on with my Instagram, but that has also played into effect. So Monday I had a little bit of a not money meltdown, but like money just like kind of anxiety, right? And I talked to Joel about it because Joel and I spent the day together, and then I talked to another one of my girlfriends that does coaching as well. And I kind of just reached out to her because she was really upfront and honest with me a couple weeks ago when we first talked, about her income, like what she makes. So she's trying to move out here. So she's telling me, okay, I make X amount, I pay myself X amount. And I'm like, as soon as she told me her first X amount, I was like, you make how much from coaching? She lives in California, but she's trying to move out here.
Give us a range.
What she makes?
Yeah.
Double digits. But she pays herself,
Double digits?
or double digits, like thousands, like,
5 figures?
yeah. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Let me count. Like,
$10?
no, like double digits, like 1,000 wise. Yes. And I was like, what? So thinking back to that, I was like, okay, let me text her and see what other details she'll give me. Just because I wanted to put it kind of into like perspective, because I was like, I'm not making that amount, right? So I kind of wanted to put like my coaching situation into perspective. And she told me like, this is how many clients I take on. This is how many I'm comfortable with. This is how many I'm at right now. I will probably be dropping some, or they'll be dropping me, because it just happens. Like, people will sign on for like a month. I won't continue on, whatever. And I was like, okay, that really just made me just want to kick my ass into gear after hearing that. Because I was like, I'm fucking not slacking because I'm getting by, but I'm like, I'm not going nearly as hard as I need to be going right now with coaching. And then even with just thinking about like the type of social media content that I've been putting out recently, like that's what Joel and I talked about later on, was we both sat down and we made a list of concepts and things that we've been slacking on in terms of just like, not necessarily our relationship, because our relationship is actually going pretty well. But in terms of just like our what's it called? Just us as like individuals, our individual like social media careers. So like me personally, I know that I've been putting a lot of energy into my powerlifting prep for my meet, and he has as well. And he continues to maintain a certain level of content that he produces, and I know that I've fallen back on my content. Like, I think back to the amount of content and like the type of content that I was putting out in like 2021. I feel like 2021 was my peak for like consistent, really good, really well performing gym content, especially on TikTok. And I'm just nowhere near that anymore. And I placed a lot of excuses behind it. I'm like, okay, I'm putting a lot of energy into prep. I'm wanting to just get in and out. I don't really I'm not in a mood to talk to the camera when I'm at the gym, when I'm training, because I'm not doing silly random workouts anymore. Like, I'm training for my meet. Like, I don't want to be sitting there talking to the camera with my mic, whatever. So I make a lot of excuses for it. But I know that a part of it is just laziness. Another part of it is just kind of being discouraged by the fact that the algorithm doesn't like me, or maybe it's me that I'm not putting out content that the algorithm wants to pick up, all of the above, right? So different things to think about. So made a cohesive list of things that I'm slacking on. He made his list of things that he thinks he's slacking on. And it was just a really good moment of like, coming together, sharing these things with each other, and realizing we really got to kick our asses, into high gear to continue making this work for both of us, as individuals. And then, that once we're set and like good as individuals, like we'll be even better, like as a partnership, or like, as a couple. So with that, how did I want to segue this, the mental health situation? I guess it's kind of an easy segue. So like, obviously having money anxiety and stuff, affects my mental health. Like, I've been thinking about that for probably the last couple 2-3 months or so. I feel like I haven't been struggling financially, but I've definitely felt more not super secure. Like, I feel like the end of last year was probably where I was like super comfortable, and I was riding like a really comfortable wave in terms of like social media money coming in, Gymshark money coming in, coaching money coming in. And now I feel like I'm working to get back to like a certain number of clients, and continue pushing out the social media stuff, getting more brand deals, getting more commission, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously my mental health takes a bit of a toll when I have anxiety, especially about something as powerful as the concept of money, lack of money, having a lot of money, whatever it might be. And it's important to sit down and, get to the bottom of what it is that I'm feeling and have moments like how Joel and I had on Sunday of like, this is what I'm feeling, X, Y, and Z. This is what I think I'm lacking on, A, B, C. And these are all ways that I can proceed forward and fix it, right? Because it's not going to do any of us any good to just sit around moping, bitching, complaining about, oh my God, I don't have money, I hate working, I hate my job, blah, 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 or I'm so depressed, whatever it might be, and just leaving it at that, not putting action or like goal setting behind your complaints or your anxieties or whatever it might be. So, with all of this, I'm here to, I guess, I wanted to give you guys a recap. Remind you guys that I am, human, just as real as you guys. I have, financial anxieties, real world anxieties, whatever it might be. And it's important to sit down and create a plan for getting out of those ruts, getting out of, creative ruts, financial ruts, whatever it might be, right? So that's exactly what we did on Sunday. And I think with that, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just so important to create a plan with what it is that you're going through. Sit down, attack the issue, and figure out a way around it, or figure out a way through it. I should say, not around it, through it. This is a problem. This is what I need to do to fix it. So, like I said, we made our list. We have our goals for like the month, goals for the week. I'm going to start doing that every week, either with him sitting next to me or just individually, like I said, by ourselves. Writing down, these are some things I want to do this week, whether it's bring on X amount of clients, post X amount of content, post this this one day, this another day, blah, blah, blah. Have YouTube videos rolling out, because a lot of this is like just me. Like when I sit here and I write down like what I have to do for a week or like in a week, I'll write down these bullet points, and then a couple hours later, I'm like, okay, I could also be doing this, this, and that. And then like the next morning, I'll be like, okay, I also have to add this, this, and that to that list. Like the list that I just jotted down this morning for like things that I have time to do today, it's like, it's small things like meal prep, like clean my bathroom, but it's stuff that I feel like just adds up so much when I just, and it just helps to write it down on paper, so if writing stuff down on paper and physically checking things off, or crossing them off a list helps you, do that also, because even little things like that, like wake up, the first thing on my on my journal or my planner every day is wake up at 7 a.m., get on a treadmill and start walking, or like get outside and start walking by 7:45. And I can cross off those first two things at the beginning of my day. I'm probably going to start adding in there, make my bed. Like wake up, make my bed. Cross two things off at, half an hour within the time that I wake up. So if you have to start doing little things like that to get you more disciplined, more motivated to just continue following that pattern of checking things off your list, do that. And if it makes you feel better, if it makes you feel good, continue to do that. So that is most of my tangent about myself, about what I was going through this weekend and everything. I did want to segue a little bit into, Brian gave me this topic earlier when he walked in, because I was like, Brian, I have no fucking idea what I want to talk about today on this podcast. And he was like, oh, well, we're sure about this? June is apparently mental health, not mental, men's. Yeah, Brian's fact checking right now. Let me take a quick little video because I was vlogging today.
It's June.
June. Slay. Hold on, I'm going to take a little 0.5 video for us.
Men's health, not mental health.
Men's health.
Yeah.
Smile. It's a video.
Oh.
Slay. I'm vlogging. Vlogging on my phone and my camera. Slay. Okay, so apparently it's Men's General Health Awareness Month. It's also Pride Month. That's lots of fun. But, okay, so we're just going to pretend it's Mental Health Month. I mean, shout out the men, take care of your health, but let's specifically talk about mental health, because that's what I had rolling in my head, right? So my mental health, men's mental health, everyone's mental health. I wanted to talk about this because, so I talked, like I said earlier, I had 2 client calls this morning. The first one was...
It's their birthdays.
Who?
Today. These celebrities.
Iggy is it? And what was that, Fetty Wap?
Yeah.
Wow. Apparently it's Fetty Wap's birthday. Thank you, Brian, for letting me know. So Okay, so the client call that I had this morning. So it was a girl that I have currently on board as a client. Like I said, she did her check-ins on, or did I say this already, or did I feel like I told you this, but I didn't tell the camera this. Okay, so I told Brian this, but I didn't tell the camera this. So I had a call with a client this morning who she did her check-in questions with me on Monday, which is basically like when you work with me, the only thing that I mandate for like weekly check-ins is just that you answer a set of questions for me and just text them to me in the morning. Like pictures are optional, weight, tracking is optional. The only thing that I really want from you is answer these like 10 questions for me just so we can check in on like how you're feeling, how you're doing mentally, emotionally, physically, all of the above, right? So she sent me her responses. There's like a hair that won't get off my leg. She sent me her responses to her questions, and a lot of them were pretty negative. Like it was things like, didn't track my food this week, barely went to the gym, don't feel like I'm progressing, don't feel like I'm hitting my goals. And I'm like, oh my God, like I read this all and I was like, okay, kind of, not like red flags going off, but like, okay, like, what can I do? Immediately I responded and I was like, hey, like, I'm getting back to this now. Can we talk on the phone later today? Whatever, like, let's talk about these answers, like what's going on. 2 days later, finally this morning, we coordinated, we were able to get on the phone. And she just tells me how it's just stuff with, so she actually intentionally took a break from lifting last week. She had some stuff going on. And she feels like her priorities kind of shifted a little bit, where she was placing more of an emphasis on like school and work and finishing up all of that, and then put kind of training on the back burner. And then once she put the training on the back burner, the nutrition also went on the back burner. And then it was just like a cycle of like the period, time of the month period coming in, and then weight fluctuating. And then like, okay, I might as well just keep eating like shit because my weight's already fucked up. So I might as well just keep going, and just a horrible, nasty cycle. We all know how it goes. I fall into that trap very, very often. And what I'm telling, my client is continue controlling your variables, continue doing the things that you have control over, and working through those things and just letting everything else fall into place. So I gave her the specific example of like the period situation, right? Me personally, I know that when I'm on my period, my weight spikes up to 4 pounds, right? I told her, like literally last Wednesday, I got my period, my first day. Tuesday, I woke up at probably like 167 pounds when the 2 days before I was at like 165. So 167, Wednesday, day of, up to like I think it was like 168 the day before, because I was definitely 169 the morning of. 168, 169, then the second day, back down to like 167, then like the third day, back to like 165. And through all of those days, like the span of those 3-4 days, I was going to the gym as normal, walking as normal, eating my meals as normal, drinking my water as normal. Like I did what I could. Like here are my 5 variables that I need to control. Did them all, controlled them all, and my weight still fluctuated. Right? So what I said to my client was, these are the 5 things that you can do. These are the 5 things that you have, or 5, 6, whatever the variables might be, however many. These are the things that you have control over. These are the things that you can accomplish. And like, this is your job. Do your job and let the rest fall into place. And I'm sure any other coach, out there listening to this will tell you the same thing. It's exactly what they preach to their clients. It's like, do your job, hit your variables, or hit your protocol, control your variables, and let everything else come into place. Like, let your body do what it needs to do, essentially. Like, I've heard this from many other women that are coaches before. Let your body do what it needs to do, especially if you're a woman with like a natural, non-hormone, or like, like non-period non-birth control based period. That's what I meant to say. Because when our hormones are fluctuating, the time of the month, everything changes. Like, and you literally cannot control what happens during that time of the month. So do the things that you can control. Let everything else just fall into place. So with that, I mean, I think that, it definitely helped her. We ended the phone on a good note. She tells me, I think I can do this with my meals, plan out my meals better, plan out my time better. And I'm like, do exactly that. Do what you can. Do what'll make you feel better. Do what you know will make you successful and what you know will keep you disciplined. Because it's not easy. Like, doing this stuff isn't easy. Oh my God. Stay. Okay. Oh my God. Everything's falling apart. There we go. Okay. Sorry. It's not easy being disciplined. Like, it's not fun to wake up and have to, or like the night before, it's not fun to sit there, plan out your meals. Like, that's not fun, but it's a discipline. And discipline isn't easy. So you got to do the things that will continue to keep you successful. And with that, how did I want to segue this into mental health? You just needed to take better care of herself. Continue to be nice to herself and do the things that you need to do to make yourself feel better at the end of the day. Now, onto the men. Onto the men and the men's mental health, okay? This is such a rough segue. I feel like I normally like to transition my podcast pretty seamlessly from topic to topic, but we're just going to jump into it, whatever. Okay, men. Any man listening to, the 5 men listening to this podcast, right? Number 1, let's start with a set of questions, right? Number 1, have you ever gone to a professional or a mental health care professional? Yes or no? I feel that most men, actually, if you're a man listening to this, I hope that you take care of your mental health, just because this is just stuff that I heavily talk about. But a lot of men neglect their mental health. That's not new information. This is why we have such a thing as Mental Health Awareness Month, Men's Mental Health, when we place such an emphasis on it. Because some parts of society still like to not discourage, but don't want to place an emphasis on the concept of men having feelings, men having emotions, and it being perceived as very feminine or very girly for men to cry, for men to come to their partner, especially a woman as a partner, and come to them and be vulnerable. A lot of men are stuck in the stigma that, oh, I can't cry in front of my girl, or I can't come to her because it's not dominant, it's not masculine, and she's gonna, emasculate. Is that the word? Emasculate? I think that's the word. I don't fucking know.
So what?
Think less of him as a man. Demasculate? I think that's it. I don't know. I'm sorry. My girl's gonna demasculate me or not think that I'm manly enough for her anymore because I started crying in front of her. When quite literally it's the opposite, right? I mean, yes, it is the opposite. Full stop. It is the opposite. A woman loves in a man that is in touch with his emotions, that can sit in front of you and say, this is what I'm feeling about this topic, and I think this is what I want to do about it. Or assertively, this is what I want to do to fix it. This is how I feel about this issue between us. This is how I feel about this issue with myself, with work, with a partner, or with a friend, whatever. A man that can read his emotions and his feelings and then convey and communicate that is an emotionally intelligent man. And that is what women want at the end of the day. No, women are done with the concept of babying men, with the concept of having to pull words out of a man's mouth to get him to talk, with the concept of, a man thinking that crying is feminine, with thinking that feelings are feminine. Human beings have feelings, human beings have emotions, and the argument of being in control of your emotions is one that we're not going to get into right now, but it is important for everyone to sit, feel out your emotions, and be able to communicate them, even if it's just with yourself. But I think that an important aspect of being in a relationship with another person is being able to communicate those things with yourself and with your partner. Because you can't be in a healthy relationship and be in a shitty mood with yourself and not be able to express to your partner, your romantic partner, what's going on with you. It doesn't work, because your energy starts to feed off of each other. Like, if Joel one day is pissed off, I'm picking that up immediately. And I'm like, okay, do we need to talk? Like, what's going on? Talk to me. And he's gotten better. He's good at talking to me. Joel and I have a very healthy, communicative, is that a word? I hope so. relationship. So talking for us, communicating between ourselves or like between each other is very, very good, and we've gotten a lot better with it over time. But that aspect of being in a romantic relationship, man to man, man to woman, woman to woman, like communicating between each other as partners is so, so, so essential in a relationship. Like I've said this many times, like the entire problem, I bet if you go to any like relationship, family therapy, or like relationship therapist, family therapist, couples counseling therapist, whatever, and ask them what's the number one issue that couples come in here for, it will be lack of communication or something of the sort. So I think it all ends up tying back to someone, or not, if not both people in the relationship, not being able to, first of all, read their own emotions and feelings, and then convey them and communicate them to the other person or people. I mean, I don't know what y'all are into, whatever, do your thing. But yeah, so with that, I'm trying to, talk to the 5 men that listen to this. Make it a priority for yourself to be more mindful of things that you're feeling, emotions that you're feeling, whether it's something that you feel every day, whether it's something that, an event happens and you feel this way. Make it a priority within yourself to be more mindful of when you start feeling differently, right? Because you can be cruising on a day-to-day, be pretty content on a day-to-day, and then boom, something happens and you feel this other sort of way, whether it's angry, upset, sad, afraid, whatever. Make it a priority to be more mindful of when those random emotions come in and get to the root or get to like the bottom of them. Even if it's, again, just within yourself, even if you're single, you can be doing this. This isn't necessarily for men in relationships. If you want to be able to do this while you're single, so that once you're in a relationship with a person, it's easier to do that communication aspect, because there's 2 parts to this. There's communicating with yourself and like getting to the bottom of your feelings, and not even why you're feeling this, just being able to state, I'm feeling this way, and then eventually trying to figure out what happened or to get you there. That's the first aspect. And the second aspect is taking what you just thought of to yourself and communicating it to your partner so that you can figure out if it's something between you guys or if it's individual, and then what you need from feeling that situation, if that makes sense. Right? Like if your feelings have nothing to do with your partner, you can say, it has nothing to do with you. This is what I'm feeling, and it's because of this that happened with myself, and this is what I need from you out of it, or to make me feel better, or to help me deal with this, right? Whether it's leave me alone, continue talking to me, help me through it, whatever it might be. So, and start trying to wrap this up into like, a cohesive thought here. At the end of the day, men, women, whoever listening to this, make it a priority to be able to read your own emotions, work to get to the root or to the bottom of to the root of the problem, to the bottom of the problem, whatever it might be, and then have the conversation with yourself. What do I need out of this? And then if you have the partner, the romantic partner, even platonic partner, whatever it might be, if you have that partner in your life, work on that communication aspect of, this is what's wrong, this is what we need to do to fix it, or this is what's wrong with me, this is what I need from you to help me, or whatever it might be. Because mental health is important for men, for women, for everyone. And no one deserves to sit here and be in a constant battle with themselves and treat themselves, mean. I've said this before on the podcast, like, continue to talk to yourself like how you would talk to a 5-year-old, how you would talk to your pet, how you would talk to your little brother, your little sister, your parents. You're not going to wake up in the morning and look at your little sister and say, you look so fat and ugly today. So why are you saying that to yourself in the mirror? Could you imagine? You look so fat and ugly today.
Thanks.
That'd be insane. Like, you wouldn't say that to anyone else. Why are you saying that to yourself?
It's true.
Yeah. See, Brian says it's true, so now it has to be true. Y'all are welcome. But yeah, treat yourself nicely. Talk to yourself how you would talk to a younger version of yourself, or to someone else, because I know you're not sitting there calling people fat and ugly first thing in the morning, so why are you doing it to yourself? And you're not neglecting other people's mental health, because most people are very intrinsically like empathetic and like sympathetic, and we care about other people's mental health. So why are we not placing the same emphasis on like ourselves, our relationships with ourselves, and like our thoughts and feelings? But we care so much about others and how other people are doing. So take the time to be a little selfish, do the work for yourself, and then be available to help other people do the work with them. Full stop. Moving on. Let's do some Ask Adris, because I think this is a good place to do them. Let me go on Instagram, because I know I put up a thing on Instagram. Okay, I put up a really quick picture on Instagram literally an hour ago. And then I put the link up on Snapchat. So I think I have a few on the link, or a few submissions on the link, but I also have a few in just my Instagram story. So someone said, I asked on Instagram, what do you need help with today / this week? The first person said, quitting an addiction. Matthew says, quitting an addiction.
What?
I asked people what they need help with today / this week, and the first person said he needs help with quitting an addiction. My remedy is cold turkey.
I would say get busy to where you're not doing that addiction.
Right, that too. What if it's something like nicotine, like a Juul or some shit?
I feel like
I say just cold turkey, like just throw it away.
throw
Yeah.
it away and just like get to the point, like write out a schedule where like every second of the day is planned out and you're doing that.
Exactly.
You get to the point you're like busy for like a week. You're like, oh shit.
You're not even thinking about
Yeah.
the addiction anymore, yeah. I don't know if y'all can hear Brian over here, but basically, like, getting so busy that you don't think about what it is that you're addicted to anymore. You know, planning a schedule out, you know, not involving the addiction, and keeping yourself busy that you literally just distract yourself, you don't think about it. If it's like, you know, a trait or like a habit that you do that's addictive, if it's like a physical thing, like a Juul or something like that, throw it away. Like, my advice is just fucking cold turkey. Just stop doing it. Stop doing it. Stop letting it be available to you. Same goes for things like binge eating or like cheating off your meal plan, your diet, your macros, whatever it is. Stop buying the thing that you're going to binge on. Like, if you keep things available to you in your house or in your apartment that are only in your plan, that are things that are going to benefit you from eating, you're not going to sit there and binge on fucking chicken and rice. You're going to sit there and binge on something that you buy at the store that you leave for, you know, a little snack, or that you leave for like a treat. But you shouldn't have it readily available to you if it's going to be an issue like that. So cold turkey, stop fucking buying it and deal with that issue, you know, from there. That's our advice right there. Okay. Next person says, I want more. I have my own place in downtown Houston at 19, but I live check to check. I feel like there's a lot of thought that goes into this. Not even a lot, but you have to ask yourself a couple things. Like, are you living within your means? Like, were you ready to be out on your own? Because 19 is so young. Like, 19 is insanely young.
Still in high school.
19 is like just barely graduated high school, yeah. So either you're like a hustler or like a drug dealer or no, I'm kidding. Like obviously, you know, that's a great hustle, good for you, but really have to sit there and analyze, you know, was that the most financially, oh my God, my nose piercing is being weird. Was that the most financially smart decision for you to make? Could you have lived at home or wherever else for a little longer, saved up a little bit more money? Could you get a roommate, whatever it might be? Because this is my first place by myself, and I'm turning fucking 25 in November. So that's that. But if you're living check to check, I mean, until you get out of your lease, there's only so much you can do, right? So talk to someone that's a little bit more financially smart, financially, you know, literate than I am. But the best thing I can say is, you know, sit there and write out every month what your mandatory expenses are. So things like rent, water, Wi-Fi, and X amount for groceries. have that listed out, and then the rest, probably put it away, honestly. But you're better with money than I am, so.
I'm doing all right.
Huh?
I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right.
But you say he's living check to check.
It's a girl, yeah. She says she's on her own place downtown Houston, but she lives check to check.
Does she want more money, or does she want more things?
She says, I want more, comma. I have my own place, but I live check to check. So maybe like she makes kind of enough to be out on her own, but she still needs more, which is reasonable. Like,
so I'm assuming like.
Oh my god.
I'm assuming she's working, like her work is taking a lot of her time if she's
Probably.
check to check.
Yeah.
But she wants more out of life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Something like that.
The solution is to lower your expenses, so you
Yep.
can put more time into finding a way to make more money. So
Exactly. Yep.
Exactly, kind of what you said.
Yeah. So really just making a list of like your mandatory expenses month to month. This goes for anyone. This is what I've started doing. This is also, I think, a part of why I've been more like financially conscious the past couple months, is because I did start writing down all of my expenses. Like I literally sit there, I have a Google, like a spreadsheet, and I say, these are my expenses, this is my income. And I work to make sure that the expenses are less than the income every month. But sitting there and going through my bank account and writing out $30 at Chipotle is, you know, like once you see it in writing in front of you, you're like, fuck, this, I'm just making it up. But like $100 at Target. Once I sit there and write that out, I'm like, fuck, did I really need that? So once you sit there and start writing out what your finances are, how much you're spending and how much you're taking in, you will become a little bit more, you know, smart about your money making or your money spending decisions. That's what's happened to me the past couple months. And I'm like, I see X amount, or, you know, I see my expenses, I see my income, and I'm pretty good. This last month was the one that, like my moving month, fucking May. I spent so much money, and I made a decent amount of money because I started selling my shit on Poshmark. So if you need some extra money, start selling your shit on Poshmark. But I think I have to literally finish. I haven't finished my May stuff yet. I probably spent a little more than I took in May. But I give it some leeway because it was my moving month, and moving expenses are fucking insane.
Or if that person
So
is check to check, like she could get a roommate.
Get a roommate at 19. Get a roommate.
Someone that just works.
Yeah, you split the rent.
Yeah.
Split the rent. That's what you need to do. That's so young. Yeah. Okay. How to deal with feeling alone in the world. This is not a tricky question. I know. Okay, that's weird. How to deal with feeling alone in the world. You have to be able to be comfortable with yourself, comfortable in yourself, become like your own best friend. Again, like how I was saying earlier with mental health and with checking in on yourself. Be able to be in a solid relationship with yourself, which will help fill a lot of voids that you think you need from other people. Obviously, having friends, having relationships outside of yourself is great. They're literally necessary. You know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, psychology, like psychologically, we do need relationships with other people. But the most important relationship you're ever going to have is one with yourself. And to get to that feeling, you just got to do a lot of work. You got to sit there and say, you know, what are my needs? How can I take care of myself? Do all of those things, become set and good with yourself, and then you can, you know, continue to, what's the word? Be like fulfilled in the exterior or, you know, the outside relationships that are, you know, not with yourself. So just doing some work and realizing, you know, that you are your own best friend. You were literally you were the only person that was there when you were born, and that will be the same. You guys know what I'm trying to fucking say here? Like, obviously your mother and everything was there when you were born, but like, you're there when you were born, you will be there when you die. You're literally going to be put into the ground by yourself when you fucking die. So develop that relationship with yourself and become your own best friend, become secure in yourself, and that will change so much for you in terms of how lonely you're feeling in the world. Okay. Other than that, I think that'll be it for Instagram. Let's go through and check the actual submissions. Let's see. Okay. We have a couple. I think we have 3, and they're all pretty decent, like decently long questions. So this first one comes from Candy. She says, "Me and my best friend of 6 years are kind of being distant towards each other. We both just graduated high school, but started being distant even before then. I've already talked to her about how I feel and was literally crying in her arms, and she felt like she didn't, sorry, I can't read. And I felt like she didn't care as much as I did. But she also does have a boyfriend and she spends all her extra time with him, and I don't have a significant other. But I'm also very good at communicating and addressing a problem or concern if I'm feeling there is one. I've asked to hang out twice already since summer, but one time she said she had to work and the other time she said she couldn't, and then later posted a pic of her at the movies with her boyfriend, lol. But I guess what I'm asking is, should I reach out again just before we both part our ways and do our 2 different college lives, or just give up on our friendship?" Aw. This is sad. Just because, like, you're so young. Like, this sucks. I know that... Wait, let me fix this. Okay, there we go. Slay. Okay. Yeah, relationships and friendships are hard. The whole concept of having a good friend that has a boyfriend when you don't have a boyfriend is very tricky. I had a situation like that. My last college roommate, who was a good friend of mine, we lived together for 2 years. My last like full year of living with her was pretty much like that, where she had a boyfriend. I was very lonely. I had Pluto pretty much. And it was a lot of that. It was a lot of me trying to reach out to her, hang out with her, like literally my roommate trying to hang out with her, and then boyfriend come up, or boyfriend would stay, or she'd stay over there. And then anytime she offered or she asked me to hang out, it would always be because the boyfriend wasn't in town, which isn't, a very good feeling. So, I mean, obviously we've grown apart. I'm here. She's still in Florida. But I think you've done what you could, honestly, which kind of hurts. But I don't think you should reach out again. It really sucks that she's not realizing, she doesn't seem to care as much as you do, especially with the fact that you're going to different colleges and you will be going separate ways. It sucks that she doesn't seem like she wants to try to maintain the friendship or do anything. But when you guys both go to your separate colleges, I don't know if she's going to the same school as her boyfriend, but her and her boyfriend will probably break up, number one, because high school relationships don't last, especially nowadays. And you don't want them to last. Like, I was in a high school relationship, and I cannot imagine 8 years later. Oh my God. No, shut up. How old am I? My high school relationship started in 2013. 10 years later? That's fucking disgusting. I was a freshman 10 years ago. Freshman in high school 10 years ago. I'm saying, like, I got into my high school relationship as a freshman, and, like, I can't imagine still being with him. So I'm saying, like, high school relationships are, like, bound to die, and you kind of want them to die. Like, I wouldn't want to be with the same person that I got into a relationship with when I was 13 years old. That's fucking crazy. I feel so old. But yeah, so, I would hope for her that her and the boyfriend break up, but if and when that happens, she will try coming back to you. And, coming to you as a friend about the breakup, about wanting to rekindle with you, whatever. And it's up to you if you want to continue developing the relationship after that happens, if and when it happens. But I think for now, the smartest thing for you to do is protect your peace and protect and preserve your energy and just let her be. And it's sad. It sucks and it's sad, but again, I'm very big on being selfish, protecting your energy, and you just got to let that happen at this point because you did what you could, and if she's ditching you intentionally for the boyfriend or if she really is busy, whatever it is, she has your number too. The phone works both ways. You just got to leave it at that, unfortunately. So, I hope that helps, Candy. Okay, next. Okay, this is May. Okay, May, she says, or they say, my workplace has extremely toxic management, but they're offering me a promotion. A promotion would be $2 an hour raise and put me around $16 an hour, 16, like 1/6, which would be the most I've ever made hourly, but it also would mean working in closer proximity with said toxic management. Not toxic in a catty or high school sense, but more in a, quote, I don't like what my store director said about how I need to do my job, so I'm going to convince my subordinates to complain about her to corporate HR type shit. Yes, that actually happened. They play favorites and give them the best hours and screw everyone else by either cutting their hours or only giving short shifts. I'm not 100% sold on the position because of that. I would fucking quit.
I think there's two ways you could go about it.
One thing about me is I will quit a job I don't like.
Certain environments, you're just like, don't want to deal with it.
No, fuck that, bro.
There's also environments where, like, if you think you can make an impact and, like, do better and, like, kind of, like, change things around just based off, like, your own leadership and stuff and setting standards, that could work. Because, you're helping everyone to grow. But it's normally not ideal for most people because most people are kind of, especially if you're young, you're kind of like, fuck this.
Yeah.
That's what I guess jobs are for.
Exactly. Like, it's not going to be, your $16 an hour job is not going to be the job you're doing for the rest of your life. I hope not. I don't know how old you are, May, but I would fucking quit. Yeah. I would fucking quit. One thing about me is I will leave a job if and when it inconveniences me. When I worked at Texas Roadhouse, I lasted at Texas Roadhouse 6 months from like January of 2021 through like early July of 2021. I took 2 weeks off because I went, or like maybe like a solid week. I requested off a week because I went to LA and I literally texted my boss, I'm not coming back while I was in LA. Yeah. Because I was already thinking about leaving for some reason. And I was like, okay, I'll do another week or so when I come back. But I was like, no, I'm not going to fucking do this. I just fucking left. Yep. I just hated it. And yeah, like jobs, I don't know what this job is, but I've only really worked in restaurant type situations. And you are so easily replaceable. I mean, in any fucking job you work, you are so easily replaceable. Like, they already have their next candidate in line. They have someone right behind you that's going to get that promotion if it's not going to be you. And I'm not saying that, you personally are replaceable, but your position is very replaceable. And that goes for literally anyone else out there questioning their job. Your job is very replaceable. Your position is replaceable. So if you're not being treated how you should be treated, you can fucking leave. And it might be hard because I know how the job market looks right now, but if it saves your mental health,
if you're good at
do what you need to do.
You can find another job.
Exactly, that too.
I would say focus on building the skills necessary to be so good to where, one, you're either irreplaceable in your company and that you get a little bit more incentives than everyone else, although you're in the same position, job title-wise. So you get a little bit more peace of mind, like you get away with things. Or when you leave, you could provide so much value to the next employer, like, oh shit,
You'll be an easy hire.
Yeah, because good work is hard to find.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah. Oh. So, leave your job, May. Oh, that's Joel. Sorry, everyone. Okay, last one. This one has no name, so anonymous. They say, I'm in the Bay Area for a summer internship. Last summer, I met another intern. He works at a different company from me. We meet when we only had 3-ish weeks left in the Bay Area. We spent as much time together before the summer was up. Pretty clear last summer that we were just talking. He's back in the Bay Area this summer, too. The lover girl in me wants to take him serious, but it's my last summer in college. So should I just friend zone him so I'm not focused on a relationship this summer? Girl, I mean, is he leaving? Wait, he's back in the Bay Area this summer too. Honestly, have your summer fling. Fuck it. Make it like like Grease, like summer lovin'. Have your summer fling. Like, if it's your last year in college, have your fun, do your thing. I want to say you never know where it could go after that. Hot girl summer, like being out in the streets is not all that it seems. It's not fun. Like, it's not that fun. I mean, I would have the fling. If it seems mutual and like it's there, have the summer fling, or just have him there to, hang out with, whatever. Like, there's different levels to the relationship you can have, but me personally, I would try to pursue the summer fling because that could be fun. But yeah, no, I wouldn't think of it as a relationship. I would just think of it as like, if you're both leaving, just have the fun and just see where it goes type of thing. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. especially if you both end up leaving. And if not, if something changes, then maybe it could change for the better. But yeah, have your summer fling. Think of it as like the cute, like in Greece, like summer love and summer romance. Have your fling, have your fun. But after that, that's pretty much the gist of everything I had to talk about. I love that I sat here and I was like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck to talk about today. And we're 50 minutes into this episode. So I think this is a pretty solid episode. I hope you guys got something good and, teachable. Is that what I want to say? I don't fucking know. I hope you guys learned something or that this resonated with you in some way, whether it's to remind yourself to take care of your mental health, to sit down and make a list of the things that you're slacking in and a plan to make it better, or if it's, to pursue a relationship this summer or not, whatever it might be. I hope I helped in some way. Thank you guys constantly for the support. If you made it to the end of this long episode, please make sure you leave a rating and a review. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave me a 5-star rating because that's how I get pushed to, other, audiences that don't already follow me. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. I hope I'm in like a good enough positioning for you guys. I just end up sitting all comfortably, but whatever. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel because I'm trying to continue growing my channel so I can get it monetized as well. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a great weekend, great rest of your week. And I'll catch you guys next week when I am a week and a couple days out. OMG. Oh, I should have probably talked about that. I deadlifted yesterday. I had my peak deadlift yesterday. I hit 347 pounds, 3 to 47 pounds, which is a successful, completed 3 white light PR for me because 3 weeks ago I got 347 off the ground, but it slipped out of my hand. So I finally got it today. I locked it out. I held it. It was perfect. It was incredible. It made me very happy. My back was shot the rest of the day, but we're good today. So I'll see y'all on the platform in 2 weeks, in a couple days, and I'll talk to you guys more about that next week when we're a little over a week out. So, as always, it's your girl. Goodbye.